backyard into your own personal oasis, and we'll be by your side through the whole process. Get outside this summer with Alpen House. Be sure to visit our brand new 16,000 square foot showroom expansion on Route 30 in Amsterdam. Alpen House Pools and Hot Tubs, Amsterdam and Clifton Park.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpen House.
And our guys at Novice, some of the on-field and on-bench supplier of FireWolves gear, a lot of fan gear, courtesy of Novice as well. They make great, great stuff there. Sam wants to know, Ash.
Not making the trip to San Diego, Sam. Unfortunately, the guys in the team are headed out tomorrow. It's a little bit of a big ask. We got the San Diego crew doing the San Diego game. When they come back here Sunday, I'll be on the call.
And it would be too much of a tease. San Diego is such a great city and great climate to only go for probably not even 24 hours.
About 24 hours. Yeah, that's rough.
Too much of a tease.
Yeah.
Let me put a little bit of a bow on our conversation about the baseball season here. Brian says 4th of July is when you start paying attention. Whoa. That's
a little late in the season, but that's
month
okay.
Plus after I start paying attention.
Yeah.
Okay. But okay. I mean, look, we've seen plenty of teams be out of the playoff picture at the All-Star break and still come back to make the postseason. So, you just never really know. All right, our FireWolves segment here. John Wagner of the Albany FireWolves, mid-season acquisition, and getting a lot of attention on social media this week, pointing to this specific trade as to why Glenn Clark should be GM of the year.
Ooh, okay.
Stupid question. Let me just throw it out there anyway, because I do a lot of these. Has anybody won Coach and GM of the Year? Separate awards? Same season?
Time? I don't know. I mean, I imagine that's probably happened because you get the best team who, if you have a coach, some teams have separate coaches and GMs.
Yep.
Others have same coach, same GM.
Yep.
And that's the case for Glenn Clark and the Albany FireWolves. But I would imagine it's probably had to have happened.
Okay.
Don't ask questions you don't know the answer to. One
of the first broadcasting rules you're ever taught. All right, let's bring John into the conversation here on Onorato and Miller. Chris and Ash. John, it's good to be with you, man. Thanks for doing the show. First of all, congratulations on that first round win, man, and the performance you had. What inspired you out there on Sunday?
First playoff game, I guess. Adrenaline was certainly pumping, and the team kind of put us in a spot to succeed in that way. So it was a lot of emotion going into that game, and coming out with the win. Certainly can't complain.
A lot of emotion on the field during that game too. I mean, I had been on the sidelines for a lot of the season, but I was in the stands that game. Ash was on the sidelines. I had never seen a game that physical, and we had talked a lot about opposing defenses trying to bully the undersized FireWolves offense, but that was, both ends of the floor, both sides of the ball, as physical as I remember all year.
Yeah, I think that's just playoff mentality, and you watch any of the other series, it's a pretty physical sport, but there's a lot of big boys on the Halifax back end too. So I know some of our rookies took a bit of a beating out there. I know Kurtzy had it pretty good with Tyson, and obviously Hasek can lay the lumber. So there was a couple guys that might be feeling it, but recovery week, and then back on the road tomorrow for San Diego on Friday.
John, do you take joy in trying to kind of rival the other side? So when you name guys like Hasek, who's just kind of an enforcer out there, do you guys say like, well, yeah, you can hit our guys, but we can hit your guys too? Like, this is how it works.
Yeah, people play in certain ways. I would like to say I'm not as much of a physical player in certain aspects as some of those guys, but like to push the floor a little bit more and transitions more so my style, and I might not be as physical, but try and put some points up and hopefully push the offense to get a couple more goals.
When the trade was made, yeah, no, I'm still stuck on only 3 goals allowed. We'll get to Dougie in a moment here. When the trade was made, Wags, can I call you Wags? The guys call
Absolutely.
you Wags.
Absolutely. Yeah, they all do. Yeah.
So when the trade was made mid-season here, the talk was, boy, the FireWolves are getting a really strong defenseman, but what he will bring in the transition game maybe will make all the difference. You've had your best offensive year. We talked about that in the tunnel before your first home game with this squad. Is something different this year for you, or do you feel like you're just more aggressive, more comfortable? Has anything changed?
Like I think it took some time. I know, New York and Rochester the first couple of years, being a younger guy in the league, you have a bit of a less of a green light, and then going over to Vegas with Sean Williams, he kind of just said, you know what, go do your thing. And so that, it lets you explore, your game a little bit more and get you a little more comfortable on the floor, playing both sides and running the ball up. And then, that was the big thing with Albany too. And Glenn kind of gave the green light, and it's kind of the style of play that we have, is just being athletic, running the floor, and making lacrosse plays. So it kind of fits into, the style of play that I like. And he's been pretty comfortable in just saying, go do that.
Have you played attack or forward at any level prior to now?
I played attack in midfield in college at Marquette, so I wasn't on the defensive side at all.
Yeah.
And then I played U19 Team Canada, and I was on the defensive midfield side of things. So it's been kind of an array of stuff. And even growing up for indoor, it was all offense really until junior A, and then a year of senior. But that was pretty much it. So it's been a mixture of both.
Challenge of, look, you're not flying from Albany to San Diego, so I get that. But challenge of making this trip, you'll have to do the back end of it from San Diego to Albany in order to play 2 games in 3 days. Can you give us a professional athlete perspective on what makes this difficult?
Yeah, I mean, the travel in itself is tough. I mean, we're going from basically the furthest east to the furthest west that we can get, 5.5, 6 hours on the plane. And then, you're out there Friday night, up early Saturday to have another long leg back to Albany. So, it's certainly tolling on the body, but, they got to do the same thing coming back for game 2. Nice thing is we're getting in early tomorrow. So we've got a full day of recovery and shoot around and practice. So it's tough, but you know what, all the guys in the league do it, and you become a bit of, kind of accustomed to it. And thankfully we've got some younger guys on the team that their bodies may not, feel that jet lag or travel as much as some other guys. So
Clarky said on our call, father time can be cruel. And that's why you hope that the advantage is a youthful team this late in the season. Maybe you guys still have some legs, which I guess that's the hope when you play a team like San Diego, who's a very veteran team who has a few older guys on their roster. But John, in terms of what they do, Albany didn't have you when you guys played the Seals back in January, and that was a 14-7 loss, and it wasn't a pretty game for Albany. What can you take away from that game? Have you seen film of it? And I guess what can you add to the defensive side when you're facing a team that has a million weapons in San Diego?
Yeah, I mean, same thing. It's game plan with Halifax is trying to eliminate early runs, and I think that was, even the 6-game stretch coming into playoffs for us, we just came out slow off the gate. And, it's a confidence thing. It's a momentum thing. So eliminating early runs and trying to keep them kind of contained, let Dougie get into his mindset and get, some of his confidence going. And, we saw that again against Halifax. He got into his groove, and I mean, it was a hell of a performance by him. So just, coming out strong out the gate, and there shouldn't be any problem coming into playoffs. You got some momentum going. So trying to, contain some of their guys a little earlier on and just, weathering the storm, and then pushing it back to them and running the ball.
Dougie had 52 saves Sunday. Do you get an early sense that, like, either Dougie or any of the other goalies you've played with, like, oh, this guy's he's going to be tough tonight?
I think, especially for goalies, it's one thing for players, but I think, goaltending is such a mental battle where, if you kind of give up some early shots that are easy and savable, you get them into that mindset that they're on the right track. I know, talking to Dougie and even listening to his press conference after the game, he said that breakaway or the penalty shot was a nice kind of momentum boost for him. So getting into that mindset is certainly a big thing. And, for the offensive guys, trying to get a few early ones, on their goaltender, on Origlieri, and, getting him off his game a little bit certainly would help.
I was going to say he made the penalty shot save, and he also early on, you guys gave up a few transition opportunities for Halifax, and he just was kind of like Dougie on one, and he made a few saves that I felt like early on it was like, okay, well, if he can do that now, you're going to be okay in 5-on-5 situations. But I'm not sure that people fully grasp, like, 3 goals in an NLL game is almost unheard of. Like, I can't remember in my 3 years in the league that I've ever seen it.
Yeah, I think someone gave me the stat. It was the only other time was 2 goals in 2012. And other than that, I mean, it's been a long time. So to have that kind of performance in playoffs is pretty nice for the team.
Unbelievable.
We almost had a fight in the stands too, which was kind of cool. Have you ever wanted to fight a fan?
Personally, no. I'm not much of a fighter, if you can't tell from the way I play. So I usually try and stay out of that kind of stuff.
I always think, like, what could they possibly say to you? Like, who is
you're
really
getting your butt kicked?
Yeah, I was gonna say, who is really caring what they're yelling about your mom or your sister or what?
No.
Like, all right, go get out of here. Like, this,
Yeah, I know emotions flare, and
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets the best of you. So no discredit to him.
no,
Yeah.
It's it's a playoff game, and especially for a guy that I think he came out of retirement for this year with Halifax. So to want to win a championship, it's just emotion kind of taking
It's
over.
frustrating.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, you get that.
Yeah, I think as physical as that game was, crazy. I mean, we had a moment where there were 3 Firewolves in the box at once. Halifax might have packed 3 in there at one point too.
I might have been in there with 3 of them.
I think you were. You're a big guy to try to get in there with everybody else. By
Yeah.
the way, happy early birthday, man. John, you're going to celebrate birthday on Kentucky Derby Day. So you'll get the day off in between here is your birthday?
It is. Yep. I'm going to be on a flight. Yep, back to Albany. So it's take off at 7 a.m. and land at 5 p.m. So it's quite the birthday.
Good research.
Will Clarky let you do anything fun for your birthday and the day off?
Maybe a piece of cake.
That's fair.
We'll see.
Hopefully a
Yeah.
beer to wash
Listen,
it
it's a
down.
semifinal. You're in the playoffs. It's the semifinals.
I get it. I'm not an athlete. I just talk about it.
Yeah, me neither.
John, good luck, man. Thanks for doing the show here on a short week. I know it's a big ask. We appreciate all the time you gave us, man. Safe travels. Go get them game 1, dude. We'll see you for game 2.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
All right.
John.
That's Wags. You
Wags.
can call him that. Had to
You're
get
allowed.
approval on the
Yeah,
nickname.
you got to be like, tight enough.
Yeah.
Not that you're tight with him, but like,
No.
you can't just call someone by their nickname.
Yeah. And these guys, I think people know by now, but these guys, most of them live out of market, we say. So they're not in the capital region. They have full-time day jobs.
Yeah.
And then they, are expected to be world-class athletes on the weekend.
Think
Not
about
easy.
how tough this is. So not only it's a short week because you play on a Friday, it's a shorter week because they played on a Sunday. So unlike San Diego, who
Right.
played on Saturday, the Firewolves have a Sunday night game. They fly out Monday, so they're off work Monday. You're back Tuesday, Wednesday, essentially. You have to find a job that's going to be good with all this because you're going to turn around. They're flying out tomorrow morning to practice tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Like, those are some very understanding jobs,
They are.
or at least you hope.
Yeah, and I guess we're all better off now in a way with this virtual connectivity that maybe some of those jobs can be done from an airplane or hotel room.
Yeah.
You can help anyway. And jobs that also maybe, look the other way when you show up with a black eye or some bruises on your legs or arms. Yeah. Okay. That was cool. Good to catch up with Wags ahead of the San Diego series, best of 3, 1 out there and 1 back in Albany. And then we'll see about game 3 after that. All right, we're back in 30 seconds on Onorato and Miller.
Get ready for the thrill of a lifetime with Tracker fishing boats, available at Albany House. Feel the rush as you reel in your trophy catch, supported by Tracker's unmatched stability. Prepare to conquer any challenge with cutting-edge tech at your fingertips and the freedom to explore without limits. Make waves this season and experience the ultimate fishing adventure with Tracker fishing boats at Albany House. Your source for fun since 1964.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller.